Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own countertops for your campers, your horse trailer, or you could use this inside your house too. I started out by buying a piece of 3/4 inch birch, but you can use whatever type of plywood you like. Make sure to cut it with the bottom part of the countertop up, that way you don't have a jagged edge on your finish. I then made a little drawing and cut out my plywood using my saw guide and a circular saw. After that, I measured how big my sink and my stove was, and this is going to vary depending on your countertop, but I kind of drew a little template on the countertop and then drew a pilot hole, and I stuck my jigsaw in there and cut out the hole using my jigsaw. I did test fit this once or twice before just to make sure the general shape fits, but after I cut out my holes, I stuck it in the camper to make sure it fits. And then I put my sink and my stove in just to make sure that everything is exactly where I like it to be. I did also cut a hole for the faucet there after this, and you just use a normal hole saw for that. Next, I'm going to apply edge banding so I have a nice clean finish. You can buy this stuff just about any local hardware store. I think I bought this at Home Depot, but it is birch, so it matches the wood on my countertops. And you basically just kind of put it on there and then use an iron, just a regular house iron will work. And it activates the glue that's on the inside of the strip, and it basically just glues it on the front. After that, I use a utility knife to kind of scrape off the excess that's at the top and the underside of the countertop. And after that, I sand it. It's important when you're sanding to make sure that the sander is going in a clockwise position. That way it doesn't kind of go against the grain on your edge banding that you just put on. After you've sanded your whole countertop, you can go ahead and apply stain. I just kind of cut up an old rag and used an old rag to stain it, but they do make special products just for this, so that's kind of your personal preference. After you've let your stain dry for 2 hours, you can go ahead and apply your polyurethane. As you can see, I like to go really heavy on the first coat because the wood kind of soaks most of it up. So my first coat's usually pretty heavy. I just use a foam brush for application, and if you can see, I kind of go with the grain of the wood and making long streaks across the countertop. After about 2 coats, I go ahead and sand it with 120 grit sandpaper. Just go over it pretty good, not really pressing that hard. I then apply 2 more coats of polyurethane, and this might vary for you depending on how thin your polyurethane is, but this is really thick, so I only did 4 coats. Then you can let it dry and install it.